Hello, friends. This is Giuliano here. It's the 4th of April, 2022, and I'm bringing you a weekly roundup. We're going to look at some weekly price charts. We're also going to look at monthly price charts. And now that I think of it, I think I'm going to split it in half so that we'll do two episodes of this. For this week, I'm going to have it split up. So I'm not going to do all of them in one video. And I'm going to share the screen. We're going to start with Dogecoin, and I do believe that Bitcoin is the future. These are the Bitcoin price charts against the altcoins, and then Bitcoin against the ultimate altcoin, shitcoin they call it, is the USD. Yeah, so we'll do the BTC USD as well. But we're going to start with Doge here in honor of the Doge Master and the Bird app. So this is a weekly time frame. Look at monthly time frame. Let's see what we get through here. And I'm going to see maybe about cutting it at a certain point, and then we'll continue with the rest of the charts. Now, if you want to recommend any price charts to look at, I would love to do that. So let's just put them in the comments, make suggestions. So what have we got here really is the weekly price chart of Dogecoin. First, let's start with the monthly and situate ourselves. And I just want to recognize the price has closed below the 20-month moving average last month in March. Okay, dropped below. Now is April. It's just the beginning. So let's see, does it stay below? And what happens? Now, based on the weekly, now I'm thinking, yes, probably it'll maybe stay below for the next, I don't know how many months. But it doesn't necessarily need to dump far. We'll see though. We'll see what kind of wick action we get. It might jump over it and do some things from up here in this area here. But what I'm noticing, okay, is momentum is flattening. We have what looks like this move here. Oh, why is the volume here? Just move that out of the way. There we go. We have that move there, and now we have this move here, fractal type of move, up and down, up and down. Okay. So what have I done here? I've taken the beginning of this move here to the end of the move down before it starts engulfing with bullish candles. So give or take 1 month, okay? But I think it seems pretty reasonable what we've got going here. This is the fib time zone, and it's like the waves of the price action. I think based on this 5 wave here, this 5 time period here, we've got this downtrend, okay? And now I think this 5 time period provides us the accumulation time. I don't know when it happens to be over, but I get the sense we could be waiting until around the June time frame into July for the next moves, like in terms of an alt season. Because an alt, really, what are we looking at here is if these are the future, you know, cryptos are the future, Bitcoin is the future, then these will be referenced in terms of Bitcoin. So also, you know, anyway, there's reasons to be looking at the altcoin pairs against USD as well for trading and other purposes. But in terms of, you know, the HODL buddies and other such reasons, and also it's good to know generally, like what is the price action between the altcoin and the Bitcoin. So there you go. That's a strong reason for me that I like to look at it. And yeah, so now what we're seeing for the Dogecoin is the narrowing of the Bollinger Bands, and we've got the Ichimoku cloud above. So there could be a squeeze to the upside, and I do believe that's what would happen. I don't think it's going to continue dumping hard into this zone. However, that is the other possibility, okay, at some point. Whether, I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly when, of course, that would happen, but it's going down, this is a zone it would enter, but at this point, you get a nice squeeze, you bring yourself to the alt season time, which is maybe not a big alt season time relative to the big move. Maybe there still needs to be more time to go for the whole thing to be exceeded. And the question is, will it ever be exceeded? Possible. Some would say likely. I'm just going to say it's possible that these highs would be exceeded to the upside at some time. And this is an interesting time frame as well, is that the 13 brings us to the end of April of 2023. End of April 2023. So that is a time frame as well that looks like a potential end of a big bull market cycle, but we'll see what that plays out. So I just thought that this fib time zone was an interesting turnaround. Here's the three. I have these in here just as like Fibonacci ratios. We have 61.8 right here, and then the other 61.8 here. It's the 261.8, the 161.8. It's not an extension tool, so this 161.8 is actually 161.8 from the beginning, and the 261.8 is 261.8 from the beginning. The three right here, is an interesting turnaround point, and you know, interestingly, so is the 161.8. Very interesting that the whole cycle here, the energy wave of the cycle brings the price at a 161.8 level. I know we're going to the we're going to the esoteric, eclectic charting, technical analysis, but really this is about arguments, and you know, time and Fibonacci numbers, ratios of time are also as important as ratios of price. And so the next thing we'll look at, so wait, before we do the next thing, which is going to be a retracement of from the bottom to the top, and then also from the top to the bottom, I would just like to recognize again that this likely could be some form of accumulatory zone where it's going sideways, and that could be in confluence with the, or in the same time of Bitcoin having a big run up, and maybe the altcoins might even draw down a bit or go up and down, but really stay flat overall, just because their USD price is still going up because of the strength of Bitcoin. So this is a possibility, but anyway, we'll see how it all plays out. And the break to the upside could be sooner, and it, you know, June could be the end. But I'm getting the sense here June is a great time frame for some summer heat of altcoin fervor, you know, for much of the globe. Anyway, let's see what happens, and then we'll know, and we'll stick around for more. Okay, yeah, the momentum is kind of slowed and narrowing, and we'll see what comes next. Okay, now in terms of retracements, so we're going to get rid of this for now. In terms of retracements, yeah, what I did for the time is I used this fractal against this fractal to see how it would relate. So basically, we took this up and down as a whole wave, and that gives us, you know, how does the next wave and the next wave, what type of time relationships might they play out? So now we look at the price relationships, and so we're going to start from here, where we start to move up and retrace to the downside, and it's roughly between 78.6 and 88.6. So there's definitely room to go down towards an 88.6, and that's, you know, this kind of price level here. But I'm not also being super exact, so you would want to make sure. But yeah, I think, you know, I don't know if you need to dump down further. This is a pretty decent zone, and let's see what happens, especially, so you'll know there's good strength if it can hop above and then hold this type of area going forward. That would be great for the little Dogester. Okay, well, anyway, we'll see. That's pretty cool. Now, in terms of upside targets the retracement from the top to the bottom. If this is the bottom, let's say, you get a nice zone, which is a 38.2 retracement. So you really, I mean, you could expect a 38.2, and if it couldn't pop over and give you a 0.5 retracement here, relating back to this price action here. Okay, so we'll do that again. This price action here as well. So you have a nice 0.5 level if it even gets there, and that would be above the cloud. So really it's the 38.2 which serves as a strong resistance level for the Doge. And if you made it down to that around the 88.6 level, which would have been down here, then you're even more restricted by this cloud region. Okay, we had talked about this June timeframe as potentially an area to watch out for, give or take. So yeah, this is on the weekly against BTC, Doge against BTC. And those are the ideas so far and the arguments for why this is a pretty decent zone. And no need to push it though. You know, if nothing is certain, we're just getting rejected on the underside by the 20-week moving average. So we don't, and it's 3 green candles in a row. And if it's going to be sideways, then there's a reason why it's called what I call accumulation schema. And so it's accumulatory, take some time. That's what it seems like. Okay. That's it for the Doge price chart. Yay, Doge. Also check out that newly released Shiba Dex for all of the Doge Shiba dog coins, cross-chain and all that good stuff by Komodo platform, Atomic Dex. Now we're on the RUNE price chart. Speaking of DEX, and yeah, here we go. RUNE. You got the Thorchain DEX, decentralized exchanges coming in as a potential big time important part of the future. If the future is going to be decentralized and peer-to-peer, then of course we would need those things. So interestingly, on the weekly, we have a closing rejection here at the previous closing highs back in October, November of 2021, and also the wick highs back in August of 2021. So clearly a strong resistance level, but it reached it, even touched the Ichimoku cloud formation here on the wick. Also is reaching top of the Bollinger Band. So this was definitely a considered top in terms of locally. Now, how big of a top does it need to be? You have a 20-week moving average down here. You have this downtrending previous resistance that was broken out. So both of them can be brought to. Now, the 20, you would really want the 20 to hold here if you're going to show further strength. I don't know. So maybe this downtrending resistance is not in the cards for being touched, but this is against BTC, so you never know. This is the top of the Bollinger Band. Who's to say that it doesn't need to come back down below the 20-week, and then after that it can eventually get back over, depending on what's happening. And then ideally, if you want, you'd get through the resistance at that Ichimoku cloud level, and of course the previous price action level, which was an important level here as well. Now, having said that, maybe it just needs to be a small little time frame and then you're out. So that's also possible, and that's what we were looking for in terms of, is this going to be a bigger A, B, and then C move to the upside somewhere, yeah, or even bigger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But against the BTC price chart, it's much less common to have like full-on impulse patterns as per Neo Wave. So here we're going to go to a monthly time frame now. Generally, things are looking good. I would say further continuation is possible, but you know, in crypto, these you can go against the trend, but it's such a strong candle, and then it can come back down and take a bit of time there. So I don't, I mean, it's hard to say right now, like what kind of, this is a monthly time frame in Bollinger Band here. We don't have a lot of data. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's cool. At least you've got this data. This is important data on a monthly level. We are definitely at an area where this thing either is going to new levels up here and pushing open these Bollinger Bands, or this is the rejection zone and it's going to come back down. And then really your next target is this 20-month moving average in terms of a monthly level. So we would have to see how that's going to go. And the more I look at this, the more I think that that's decently likely. But of course, I could say that and it's going to break out to the upside, and that would be also pretty possible. So yeah, not entirely sure yet. You know, how long is this momentum to the upside going to go? Has there been enough of a flattening and a slowing of momentum yet, or maybe the run is not over yet, right? That would be the other case. So and just based on this, I think the bias is still potentially to the upside, but recognize the resistances here. So it's a hard thing to call, really. I mean, I guess if you're, that's the beauty of this is you can play these ratios if you want and lighten up one way and then the other, and ultimately you're going between RUNE and BTC. I mean, you can't really go wrong at the end of the day if you're playing it clearly enough. But then again, none of this is financial advice, and I don't necessarily know. But here you go. This is a clearly an area where you would, where I would at least, I would, if you're playing the ratio at levels of resistance to the upside, you want to move some of the value into BTC, and then when it, you know, if it keeps going up again, it's about weighting it. So it's like playing a gold silver ratio, I guess, is really what's coming out in this discussion. So yeah, in playing this gold silver ratio type thing, but instead it's like a RUNE BTC ratio, this is potentially a time to lighten up on the RUNE and see where it goes on the smaller time frames. Maybe you watch the smaller time frames to see if it's confirming moves to the upside or downside. All right, anyway, that's it for the weekly time frame for RUNE. And we looked at the monthly. I'm off this chart, and I'm going to a big gainer. Oh no, not yet to Luna. First to ADAM. Let's check it out. ADAM against BTC was flat-ish, bit of a gain the previous week here, where didn't do a video last candle. So we slipped below the 20-week moving average. Then we closed just above it, but now we're back below. So it's just hovering around this 20-week moving average, around this known support zone. Look to get it as support if it can. And if it cannot, then, well, you've got this cloud below. So that's what we're waiting for, the box below and this uptrending support. So that's really what will matter. We'll see how this plays out. This will be interesting to watch. Momentum indicator, not super clear yet, but hey, this could be, see. Yeah, it would be bullish, bullish convergence there to the upside. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, nothing is really clear on this ADAM price. And really, if you start breaking down these levels here, especially with the cloud, likely coming down to something down here, and maybe even lower down to here. But this one is lower end of the Bollinger Band. That just makes more sense and it still allows for accumulation, you know, with higher lows, higher low, and then you'd still maintain a higher low, even though it's lower than this previous low. Then you from there you would see, and that would determine whether this is an uptrending wedge or if it's more of a rectangular horizontal type of a price action. Okay, so that's ADAM on the weekly, and if we look at the monthly, where are we? Top of the Bollinger Band on the monthly, getting a lot of rejection up there. Oops. Yeah, I guess, you know, you can hope for a good, bright future for ADAM. And in that case, then you're looking at some potential breakout moves, you know, breaking above these types of levels and breaking above the top of the Bollinger Band and making it spread and stretch out. You did get a break above to the top, down to the 20-month moving average, good support back to the top, but that was rejected, and that generally isn't what happens in a bullish move. So really, you know, are you going to come down below to these levels, or I don't remember what it was on the weekly. Let's just quickly catch a glimpse. No, it was a little higher on the weekly. It was kind of mid, so we'll see. Maybe on the monthly it wicks down there, even on the weekly, who knows. And maybe it doesn't even get down there, but we're just looking at arguments for possibilities of each direction. So if we go back to that monthly, let's see. Yeah, that was the other zone was about here. So who knows what ends up happening with this ADAM price chart, except if we have some time to watch, then we will know more clearly. So if you can hold above this level in this monthly chart, you're in great position and you're going higher, much higher it seems. But at this point, this weakness here, especially here, doesn't speak kindly. However, maybe it's just a correction and it's going to happen a couple times and then it's going to go higher. So, you know, you might need a couple of confirmations, that type of thing. We'll see. We shall see. Good luck to ATOM against BTC. All right, now let's move on from that chart. Let's move to the Luna price chart. That's right. Luna was quite a gainer this past week, previous week. The week before that, week before that did get a sorry, right here, the 21st of March week, got a move to the downside. Again, found this support right here at this important level. Okay, and this past week was a big move up, engulfing both the previous candles, nearly closing above the wick of the other. So that's arguable, but nevertheless, engulfing their bodies. And so now we're moving higher even, but let's not worry too much about this current week. As you see, we're at the top of the Bollinger Band. So this is a potential area. Again, you know, the price found the support of the 20-week moving average and then pushed up again, top of the Bollinger Band. So still creeping, but this wick price action here on a lower time frame shows that this price is still not necessarily out of the woods yet. And you really want to start breaking higher before you're comfortable that this is not just some sort of distribution event that's taking place over time. And so, yeah, we'll definitely see what keeps happening here with the Luna price chart against BTC. There's a reason to potentially see this going higher considerably, and at the same time, still, oops, wrong one. At the same time, so still going higher, but at the same time, yeah, maybe maybe this top here is just an intermediate top, okay, right here. In which case, yeah, that was around like the what 400,000 level ish. So definitely, you know, if this is that support, if found at a previous high, I mean, this is a big bullish move, and it's going to continue higher to that level. That's really, that's what I'm seeing. Having said that, top of the Bollinger Band, got to watch out. I would say obviously daily price chart is a lower time frame to watch for confirmations and other ideas. And by then, by the time you break out, you're at about 27 or 270,000 Satoshis. So still a decent move after that. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Good price action from the Luna price chart, looking real good. However, everything that goes up for a consistent amount of time also has significant corrections. And yes, these big candles are significant corrections, but also this whole thing is made of higher lows. And so, yeah, we'll see. This is great. This is a really nice price action that we can learn a lot from. Okay, top of the Bollinger Band, how long can we ride it to the upside? We already did it once, twice, 3 times, or at the 4th time. Wow, amazingly strong. Even with this support down here as the Ichimoku cloud forming, and then also got the lower end of the Bollinger Band. And that's not even having broken the 20-week moving average yet, or this horizontal support, which again found a really strong support and a bounce off a spring off of that. That's great, good move. Okay, currently we're still facing some, this bearish divergence on the price action and the momentum indicators down here, MACD and RSI, but nevertheless, price can still go higher. So let's take a look at the monthly time frame. And yeah, wow, this is, again, we're going to get some, there's not a lot of price data, but in terms of, you know, RSI are already way in the overbought territory. So, hey, it can still stay there, but, you know, easy does it. And you're also at the very top of the Bollinger Band on the monthly as well. So yeah, you could still keep pushing it. But just in terms of risk and reward, you know, just want to be aware of those things, right? That's good. So there you go. So that's it. That's what this is, top of the Bollinger Band, 20-month moving average down here. Okay, around the, what is that? Well, around the 68, 70,000 Satoshis level. Actually, if we creep up 75,000 Satoshis level. Anyway, not that that necessarily matters too much. We're all the way up here. But it matters enough, because on a monthly scale, are we going to come touch the 20-month moving average? Probably. When? That's a great question. And where will it be at that time? Well, depending when it happens, will determine where it's going to be at that time, as well as where the price is obviously gone in the meantime. So that's the Luna price chart, but just be aware. I mean, if you here on a monthly, here's, I think we've got, you know, other trend lines. So we've got, because we've got them with the weekly, okay. But yeah, we're precarious, right, on the monthly as well, for this local trend line to be holding, and 3rd monthly in a row. So let's see what happens this monthly of green. But after that, remember, this is against BTC, so hey, could still keep going higher. I definitely want to say that. But if it does, that'll be what an incredible move. Okay, and if it doesn't, well, then we'll have some tools, and that'll help to give us validation or invalidation to these type of arguments in terms of price direction. So let's watch what happens with this immediate trend line. And then of course you have the big original trend line here. Okay, that's on a monthly time frame. Let's go. I think that's it for Luna. Let's go to the weekly and close it out there. Good stuff. Luna price chart. Next, and I think we'll do a couple more, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we'll try and get through. Let's see how many we can get through. MATIC, well, it's really slowing the momentum of the downtrend. It's rounded now, but it is playing against this Ichimoku cloud and is breaking down below it. It paused there above it for a little bit. That's the green line that's forming there. And then also this uptrending support line is just cracking that and it's going down below it. So let's see what happens in terms of this MATIC price chart against BTC. Yeah, we'll give it some time. I mean, this is the 20-week moving average all the way up here. So we'll see. Is it going to get a push up above this trend line to the upside, above this pink trend line to the upside? If not, then this big trend starts to break down and we're clearly in a bigger correction against the BTC price. So I think that's what's important about this chart is this big trend line here. That tells us a lot about the momentum and the corrective energy. Is the correction coming to an end, or are we kind of right in the middle of it and it's just breaking down this thing and we're going to flatten and find accumulation? Maybe this box is going to be our important box. You would hope so, because then it's a long way down if not. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. The other option, you know, is to still kind of chop above this Ichimoku cloud and then come back up. And you know, these corrections can take time, and who knows what it'll end up looking like eventually. But yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. So stick around, and I hope I can be here with you. I don't have much to say else about the MATIC price chart. I'm glad that it's not still up at the Bollinger Band at the top and that it's not above the 20-week moving average, because at least that gives us some variety in our programming. Anyway, not to say that I'm trying to be a bear or anything like that on the MATIC price chart. Okay, let's move to the monthly. I'm agnostic on these as best as I can be, okay? So it actually breached the the Bollinger Band to the upside quite significantly, came back down, never even touched the 20-month moving average yet. So it went back up to the Bollinger Bands, got rejected. Yeah, this reinforces the argument for the price coming further down within some sort of time frame in this type of zone and meeting with this 20-month moving average somewhere. But I do get the sense that the bullish case is support at the 20-month moving average and a move higher. Maybe it has to go sideways for a bit. I don't know. It's tough to tell, but this is going to be an important scenario right here. I think that's probably the best case in terms of the probabilities that I'm getting right now. But you never know. It could instead stay on this side of things and meet it whenever it happens. I don't know when that would be. I mean, I get the sense it would slow down, so that would take some time. And hey, that's definitely possible, but less likely, I get the sense. I think just some moves lower into this zone of price action here to confirm it and to find support. Now, if they don't hold there, I mean, that's the Confluence 20-month moving average, then you're getting some price action lower, but that's in time to come. I don't know when that's going to be, if that's even going to be. I'd like to say that it'll probably hold that if MATIC has a future of strength. Okay, as we see with other charts, their future price action tends to be down, and it takes a long time, many years, to hopefully come back to previous levels that are not even all-time highs. Now, some of them are lucky enough to break that, but that's a tough spell to break. You know, for these first impression moves up make a big difference. You know, they get structured a bit differently than let's say, for example, the 2017 alts. when we look like, for example, at LTC, well, LTC is even earlier than that, but you know, and XRP is too, but you know, they were big parts of the price action in 2017, and then you can even see even before that. So like, for example, LTC, if it goes for a long time, it can have its moves up, but the trend can be down against BTC. That's a very common thing. So we'll see though. If they survive and have some relevance, then their price action, whether it starts up and continues going up, or starts up, continues going down, but then starts up again to a significant level and maybe even breaks all-time highs, that's possible. Against BTC though, see, that's the thing, is these are all against BTC price chart. That's why considering it like a ratio, playing a ratio like a gold silver ratio is a better way of thinking when looking at the BTC price chart against altcoins, and against USD too as well, I guess, if you want to think like that, but really against the alts BTC, because who's to say really, you know, if you look at different kinds of charts like commodity price charts and other things like that, they don't necessarily move like stock equity price charts. They can be more choppy and more flat and more ranging and things like that. So I do get the sense that the ones that the alts that, you know, they survive but they don't necessarily thrive, they might range most of their life and never really have a significant move higher. But others that do survive and also do thrive, they will, even if they've come down, they will exceed their previous all-time highs and against BTC. And so those are possibilities in their life cycle. But it'll be really interesting to watch over the next 5 to 10 years to see what these price charts shape up to be like. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so I don't have much else to say about MATIC or, you know, generally about the crypto price charts, other than let's move on to the next one, which will be AVAX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. AVAX is 6. I'd really like to get through Sol dot and FTM. Let's see what happens. AVAX, we're already on the monthly, so let's just hold it here. Again, we have Bollinger Band action. We are at the top of the Bollinger Band. Right at the top here, top Bollinger Band is up there. Wow, 20-month moving average is right here around the 90 or 100 or 100,000 Satoshis level, which is previous candle that moved the price up. So interesting. And it's, is it even going to come back down here yet? Or is it going to push this Bollinger Band higher? Maybe it's going to take a couple more months of accumulatory action and then go higher. This could be a reaccumulation stage, but at the same time could be a distribution stage, making lower highs here. So who knows? That's on a monthly though. So let's go down to the weekly. Take a look also on that monthly RSI. It was in, just came back out of the overbought territory, but still pretty high. So who's to say what that's going to end up looking like? It might still get another push higher. Wow, weekly Bollinger Bands are nice and narrowing. Price is above the 20-week moving average. So as long as it stays above there, then you're in the bullish sentiment and you're looking to move higher. That would be a tremendous move from Avalanche, which for all intents and purposes, it could be going higher. And if that's the case, if it's going higher against the BTC, you know, that won't be surprising. It's getting a lot of, you know, positive attention, and so we'll see. That is often leading to markups in price when it comes to crypto's popularity and that sort of thing. It helps the crowd behavior. So let's see what happens. I mean, it's consolidating above these previous highs. This is, if we look at all this price action taken together, it's a consolidation above these previous all-time highs here. So yeah, this is actually looking quite decent, quite good. And maybe the C is is not the end. There could be more coming, and maybe it's not just an ABC, but if it is some sort of corrective pattern, maybe we're getting a bit of a different pattern, a D, maybe an E, F, G. But at least if there's more than a C, then we're going to go to a D and an E. So that'll be interesting to watch how that unfolds. Yeah, I think that's it for the avalanche price chart. Overall, this narrowing of the Bollinger Bands is bullish. Just generally, this is one of the more bullish charts that we're looking at. Momentum-wise, I mean, it's hard to say, but if this thing is going much bigger and higher, then the short could. Having said that, though, it's just could be the beginning of a bit more of a bearish move. But that's why at that point, you can also check in with some of the fundamentals, for example, and look at it that way. But this is really all about technicals, and I think the Bollinger Bands and this 20-week moving average give us all the information we need to know, in accordance with also this support level right here. And so, yeah, remaining above the 20-week moving average is the strength. All right, that's it for our avalanche. Yeah, let's move on to the Solana price chart. Solana also had a strong push up in the past week. There is possibility to go higher if the market gets super bullish. You know, the momentum is turning. However, it might need to just flatten out a little bit. You know, this is against the BTC price chart, and my guess is probably it's going to flatten out a bit. I don't think we're going to keep pushing higher. Look, we're getting rejected after 3 weekly green candles in a row, rejected at the 20-week moving average. Like, that's definitely a possibility. But hey, it might just be a short. And when I say rejected, I mean literally this is a strong move right here. You closed with a really full candle right at the 20-week moving average. Price did trade above it just barely, but that doesn't even matter. It closed like right at that 20-week moving average, just on the underside. So now it's just fighting it, and it doesn't matter. But if it stays around here and then goes higher, then the whole thing is bullish. The whole move is bullish. So when I say rejected, I just mean like it didn't close above the 20-week. Yeah, but you know, he's staying above the Ichimoku cloud formation here. So that's bullish enough. But if you're not going to surpass this 20-week moving average, then that's bearish, because this just becomes a bearish, you know, reverse. What do you call it? A bearish retest of the 20-week moving average, because you're on the underside and you're not going to break it. You're going to retest it, but it's bearish because you fail to break it, and then it goes lower. Yeah, so you know, I'm more so a technical analyst, technical and analysis hobbyist. Say that 10 times fast. So sometimes the vocabulary and language and theoretical aspects of it are out of my reach. However, I think the general sense of it and logic of it is, I'm starting to really understand it better, and I hope you are too. So yeah, so here is the price action of Solana on the weekly, and you really want to see the price get over the 20-week moving average. Otherwise, you can expect it to go down further against the BTC price chart. The fact that it broke this downtrend is pretty good, but then does that mean the new downtrend becomes something like this? And then the move becomes something like this? Possible, and then you start getting down into like this zone and this zone here, and in which case, yeah, oops. Yeah, you're like down at the lower end of the Bollinger Band here. So interesting. That's the other option I'm seeing. for the Solana price chart against BTC, and in that case, then you're down here, and then you got to jump over the resistance again, because now you have the bigger long-term resistance. So who knows? We'll have to see. It's going to be determined by what does the price do around this 20-week moving average, and for how long. Like, can it just stay here for a bit and then keep going higher? That's also possible. It doesn't have to just keep going higher in a big move like this. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, for this price action. Yeah, and overall, this is tough to tell, but you can hope that the momentum can kind of find a bit of positivity and minimize the negativity, and overall allow for the price to hold here. That would mean the USD is probably bullish. If the Bitcoin is bullish, the Sol USD would be bullish, and the price action would kind of hang around there. That's possible. It's definitely possible. We'll see though. Yeah. And that we've, you know, where is this RSI going? Is it going down? Because in that case, then so is the price, most likely. Anyway, we'll see. Good times, good times. So let's check the monthly price chart and say, okay, on the monthly time frame, we're going to we'll keep it like this and say, wow, maybe the price wants to come back up and tag the top of the Bollinger Band again. It's definitely possible. Here is that level that we had carved out. Actually, it's roughly around here. Down to here, down to the box. So yeah, interesting. That would be the 20-month moving average. So overall, on a monthly basis, this is a strong price chart. Look how much it's gone up, and it's still holding decently up here for many months. I mean, here's your top here back in September of 2021. And then on a monthly basis, is just kind of holding nicely here. Yeah. I don't think there's much complaint from Solana bulls, is there? No, I don't think so. So yeah, looking good on a monthly level. I mean, I don't see why it can't come at least back up here and tag the top of the Bollinger Band, tag the previous highs, and then come down further. Definitely possible. That's why this one, it's not super clear. This previous week of the previous week's candle here has really changed the nature of what could be happening. But you know, on a weekly basis, likelihoods are that the price after breaking down would retest the 20-week moving average before falling down further. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that's it for Solana price chart. Yeah, let's get out of that one. We'll go to the FTM. It has also had a bit of a reversal to the upside, but it's not even coming towards the 20-week yet. It got its reversal off the previous support levels. So let's see what happens. You got the Ichimoku cloud down here to act as potential support as well. So let's see if FTM can turn it around. Otherwise, against the BTC, it's going to keep, you know, maybe it'll go up first and then come back further down, or maybe this is it. Then it gets to consolidate down here, and the Bollinger Band can come and move up, and the 20-week moving average can come down, and it can consolidate above this price action here, which is a good important level to be consolidating, and then see if it can go higher. That would be bullish as well for the FTM against BTC, of course. The other option is that it's going to falter and continue further down. And in that case, yeah, this price action down here could be very likely. Let's see, monthly time frame. I mean, yeah, not yet at the 20-month moving average. So does it need to come down there, or does the 20-month moving average need to come up to here? And Having said that, though, it's going to slow down for a bit because, or soon enough, it's already starting to slow down because we're going to have more of this price action. This sideways and down price action is continuing to be in, and we're going to, well, depending, this is 20 months. So anyway, as you lose, it's going to fluctuate, but overall, yeah, the price could just hang out here as the 20-month moving average moves up, or the price will come down and meet 20-month moving average, in which case then you really want to see if you can get that as support. Okay, so FTM, that's a pretty decent possibility for FTM. So watch it. Maybe it'll be in an accumulation mode. That would be pretty good. But watch out for the top of this, that's the other thing is we get targets up here, like you have the top of the Bollinger Band here. So yeah, you could get a wick up or whatever, but this becomes like a strong resistance level here as well, around like 5,500. So yeah, there you go. That's FTM against BTC. And that's on the monthly time frame. Okay. Back to weekly, and then I think we are going to do one more chart and then leave it there. We'll take a look at DOT against BTC. Okay, yeah, so a couple of weeks of green in a row to the upside, moving towards the underside of the 20-week moving average. Well, let's see what will happen once it interacts with that, but I do think that you'll get some interaction at some point, and it'll be important because you have the previous rejection up here. So if you get the next rejection again, then the price is going to come back down to the lower end of the Bollinger Band at least. And that's okay. It doesn't have to touch the lower end of the Bollinger Band. It could come down to this previous support level here. And it might just need to retest that again, and then it can go higher. It's possible. Momentum-wise, like really it would like to cross into a positive territory. So I'd say watch out. You got a good chance to move higher as well. But how much is it going to be to the upside from here? I mean, 25%, maybe 35%, something like that. And that would just, that'd be intermediate. Then you'd be looking to try and break above these levels here as well. Yeah, it's a little bit of a not so clear just yet. Could be getting rejected by previous support levels and previous rejection levels. So beware of DOT against BTC, but watch out for potential accumulation zones down here as well. And if it breaks above the 20-week, that's pretty bullish, obviously. Now let's take a look if we can see anything on the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame, interesting. So we are at the underside of the 20-month moving average. So this is an important level on a monthly time frame. So let's see what happens over the next month or two. That would be pretty cool if it breaks above it and closes. That would be good. And we could use the 20-month moving average as a potential support level. And also just to say that then maybe the price will be going back up to the top of the, well, maybe not. Yeah, it'll go top of the Bollinger Band. I was saying back up, but we haven't seen it top of the Bollinger Band up here. It only starts over here. However, that's kind of what I mean. The price will go back up to this level, which in this case would be at the top of the Bollinger Band. So there you go. Those are the two possibilities. Right now, the argument is resistance to the upside is strong, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, that's the DOT price chart against BTC. Yeah, we have also the 20-week moving average above. So 20-week and the 20-month moving average right above the price. So it says at a significant area turning point. I mean, good luck out there. Okay. Let's just narrow this down a bit. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Okay, let's take it a little bit shorter term time frame. Yep. So also you have this downtrending resistance. So there's just, this is either going to break out or break down, and we're seeing a lot of, like, I guess these factors, these validation and invalidation factors, 20-week moving average, downtrending resistance, they are the price is really squeezing into them. You know, the price is really squeezing into them. So let's see what happens. It's exciting. I look forward to seeing the DOT price. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it pops to the upside, but be careful out there. All right. Until next time, I think that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's close this down. Yeah. Thanks for being here. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. We're going to come back with the whole bunch of the rest of them, I think. And until next time, wishing you all kinds of love, peace, and happiness. Okay. Goodbye.